Hello, Degens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes on this Friday, July 22nd, 2022. I, of course, am the brofict one, AJ, here with some new interesting news. LIV Golf doesn't seem to have an event this week, but PGA and LIV, the drama continues as it's being reported right now by Adam Schupak of the Golf Week, saying now that the PGA has paid a law firm to lobby against LIV Golf on Capitol Hill. Wow. According to lobbying disclosure reports filed by DLA Piper, LLC, the tour has paid $190,000 so far in order to lobby against LIV. Now, this is getting interesting. This is now not only a golf matter, this is starting to become a government matter. Obviously, don't need to talk about Saudi Arabia and their history and questionability of where the money's coming from and everything, as that has been the main story behind all of this. But just kind of unreal that the PGA is taking this step in order to really try to make sure LIV Golf doesn't be a thing and isn't competitive. With that being said, it is important to also note that the Department of Justice is investigating the PGA Tour as we speak, of if it's engaged in anti-competitive behavior, as they are investigating them banning those LIV golfers that chose to go and play for the LIV Tour, as it does kind of feel like a monopoly. PGA's been under fire with this before, with the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, in '94 for similar rules of not playing on non-tour events. And of course, this all stems from the fact that they aren't being paid any money. They're not under contract or anything. They sign the player's handbook, and then they just kind of go and have to keep with the tour and everything like that. But this is crazy. This is crazy stuff. I'm not really sure what they're lobbying for. And that's the kind of the big thing. Like, are we just lobbying to try to prevent any events continuing to happen stateside so that there's no what do you call association with all of the quote-unquote atrocities and everything? But yeah, this is hard. This is a hard one. I don't really know what the PGA's goal is here in getting rid of LIV, maybe putting down some, I don't know, I'm not a government guy, putting down some regulations or something on what LIV can do and what LIV can't do. But at the end of the day, they are a privately owned sports organization. You know, this would be like the NFL coming, or the MLS coming in and trying to put a ban on soccer being like watched in America, you know, from the European countries and stuff like that. I really can't even think of a good comparison because this is just so out of right field and honestly not the best look for the PGA. Not only has there already been reports of the PGA essentially being scared of any competition or anything like that, but this is just getting petty now. It seems like the PGA might actually be starting to get scared of what LIV Golf could do to the PGA. Obviously already changing the game of golf, offering these huge guaranteed contracts, and also making the prize pools for each of these events worth so much money that even if you don't place, you can't miss the cut because there is no cuts. Even if you're dead last, you're still going to make probably more than if you would have made the cut on a PGA Tour, which is why we are seeing so many names go over there. Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, DeChambeau, Mickelson, obviously. And now we've got Daniel Faraday going over there. Charles Barkley reporting playing in their Pro-Am. This shit is just getting crazy. And the PGA is starting to get worried. And you got to see that with this lobbying. Because I can't imagine another reason that the PGA would lobby against LIV unless they were absolutely petrified of what the outcome could be. And that outcome is going to have to be either the PGA paying these players a lot more money, guaranteed money for just showing up, and not continuing the way they've been practicing. The PGA has been doing this for too long, underpaying its players, and relying on the prestige. And I get it, the history of the PGA Tour, the history of those majors, the history of some of these tours. I get it. I totally get it. But at some end of the day, money talks. Money talks. And, you know, like Charles Barkley said, I would do bad things to my mom for $200 million. You know, a lot of people are kind of saying that. And these more established names like the DJs, the Koepkas, the DeChambeaus, the Mickelsons, who have already essentially secured their legacy on the PGA Tour, are now going off to make that money. And as we saw, some lower names, people that you may not have heard of or may not be aware of, they're showing up in the LIV as well to make that guaranteed money so that they can live probably better than if they were on the PGA Tour, making the cut every once in a while, because that is at some point what they were doing, especially some of these lower players barely making the cut, getting paid a little bit of money so they can just make it to the next event and really going on that grind. Now, I'm not one to go away from a sports grind. Obviously, baseball plays 162 games a year, and it's unbelievable. They just had a 4-day All-Star break, and they got back to it yesterday. So I understand that sports require a grind, especially to cement your legacy. I completely get it. However, those baseball players are also being paid a livable wage and don't have to pay for their caddy, don't have to pay for their travel, don't have to pay for their housing, don't have to do all of that, whereas a PGA golfer comes out of pocket. I really don't know where this is going to lead with this lobbying. I don't know if we're going to see any rulings come down from the government. I don't really know what the government can do since it is an international sports league at this point, essentially. I think we're going to continue to see names until the PGA changes, unfortunately. LIV Golf is going to continue to grow, is going to continue to get a name, and I don't think this is going to be a story that just goes away, especially with the PGA trying to get the government involved here. It's going to be a slippery slope. All I know is that all publicity is good publicity at some point, and LIV is continuing to get the publicity and continuing to get the airtime, so people will be more knowledgeable of it. There was also some other news about the team structures and everything, and the captain's getting 25% of the team. So are we going to start getting brands now? Are we going to start trying to get deals with those teams? I mean, that's all up in the air. LIV is so young, and they're just trying to figure it out. And they, unfortunately, are starting to do a pretty good job of figuring it out when it comes to how to run a golf league and what to do and how to piss off the PGA, because they are doing a damn good job at pissing off the PGA. So much so they're lobbying against the LIV. This stuff doesn't make any sense to me, but we will continue to cover it. As far as the government side goes, I'm going to just read the stuff that I can and hopefully give you the most degenerate takes from it. But big takeaway, PGA is scared of LIV and what they are doing, and they look like they're going to do whatever they can to get out of it. This will be a fun story to keep watching. With that being said, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Help us fight that YouTube algorithm. Buy some merch. We got merch in the link down below. Also follow us on Twitter at DGenTakes and myself at Brofict1. With that being said, thank you so much for listening and watching. I've been the Brofict1 AJ, and we'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.